people leave in the comments like, like there's so many different genres. It's like such a mixed bag. This doesn't make any sense. And we're like, that's the point.
Krista of Lutharo, thank you so much for your time today. I obviously have to ask how you're feeling because you started the year a little under the weather, if I remember correctly.
I did. I feel like every single year, it's like between the times like Christmas, New Year's, and my birthday is January 4th. So it's like that whole time I'm doing so much that I get sick at that time every year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then I think today you post a video of yourself running around in the snow. That's not going to help, Krista. So
yes, I know. I was still sick during that and had a really bad sinus infection. So, I mean, it wasn't the best thing for me to do, but I did it.
Yeah. We're obviously talking about a photo or video shoot, I should say, for the next music video. So what can we expect?
Yes, coming soon.
So Chasing Euphoria is coming, and the weirdest thing for me about it was that when I looked at it, it was like, oh, this is actually only your second full-length album. And I don't know how you feel about it, but like for me, it's like for a while now, it just feels like, yeah, you guys have been there and you've been part of the scene and around. And obviously you had some EPs and singles out and stuff like that. How and there's so much going on right now with Lutharo, and you know everything seems to be accelerating as well. How are you feeling? You know, how do you have a chance in this roller coaster to take a step back and kind of look at, oh, you know, this is where we came from, and it's or is it just flying by super fast? Like what's the mentality right now for you?
I try to stay in the moment and try to be like, oh my God, I can't believe we've accomplished this. I can't believe that we're doing this. I can't believe this single's coming out. Oh my goodness, how many views this has and blah, blah, blah. But it's hard because there's so much work to be done. And it's like a day-to-day thing where I messaged the guys in the group chat the other day. I'm like, I haven't even left my bed yet. And I've already posted on every social media platform. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's like there's never a second to breathe. But you kind of have to like force that upon yourself too. Or it does it on its own where you just stop for a second and you're like, whoa, okay, how did I get here? Damn.
Yeah. In the spirit of that, oh my God, we're here already. A lot of bands tell me that a second album is really, really hard. Given that the first one tends to be a bit of a greatest hits collections of, you know, over a decade playing in small venues and what have you, and you kind of scrap the songs that don't work out and you keep the ones that are good. And then you release that first album and then things, if all goes well, start to accelerate more. People all of a sudden give you deadlines and stuff like that. Was this one for you as well more difficult than the debut album? Do you felt that pressure more?
I think the only pressure that I felt really was like time constraint. Because when we did High Rise, it was during the pandemic and we had so much time to write everything. And we didn't really put like a date for us to finish it because we're like, well, nothing's happening right now. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? We have a lot of time. But with this one, we were like, okay, we have this many months to write it, this many, like however many weeks to record it, got to get it done. So that was like the most stressful part about it. Everything else was fun and good. You know, the actual writing process is fun. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, if we just, you know, jump from writing straight away to the final product, I had obviously a chance to listen to the whole album already. This is what, you know, without calling you guys a prog band in any way, I would call this, you know, a headphones album. Like there's a lot hidden in the songs, and you know, and the better the quality of your headphones, the more you're gonna find out. I mean, when you guys play in town next, can I just, you know, come on board and, you know, play the horns for Reaper's Call?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
You guys had fun with the production here?
For sure. So all of our orchestration is done by Elliot Vernon, which is the keyboard player in ALESTORM. So he does all that fun, fantastical stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the amount of time that we had to write and record everything, we put everything into it. And like every little detail we could think of, we did it. Because we really wanted to focus on that with this album. Because like High Wraith, I feel like we wrote it and we were kind of like, okay, cool, we're writing an album. This is like very, I don't know, straight to the point kind of thing. With this one, we're like, no, there was things that we wanted done differently, like putting more detail. Like, okay, I want to focus more on these vocal parts or more on the orchestration or whatever. Everything has to come together and tell a story.
Yeah. Does that mean that when you're going to be promoting this album on the road, that the rock band in Lutharo comes out and that you're doing a bit of a stripped down version of these songs, or with the help of backing tracks and onstage magic, are you going to try to recreate it as much as possible?
So all the orchestration will still be there. We'll do them with backing tracks. As far as vocals go, Victor is going to be doing some of the backing vocals with me, so it kind of fills that, because there's a lot of harmonies, like vocal harmonies. Like we did not shy away from vocal harmonies in this, so he's going to be helping me out a little bit on that. And I'm not sure if we're going to put anything on backing tracks. We always shy away from it just because people are like, oh, that's cheating, blah, blah, blah. Even though it's not. It's like, it sounds that way on the album. It's not like I'm lip syncing, you know what I mean? But
For sure.
Yeah. It's like, if anything, it just makes everything sound more, I don't know, like just closer to the album, right? Yeah.
Now, talking about going on the road, did the bus get a name already?
No, not yet. Oh my goodness. So we've had so many names, and there's a lot of van puns, but I'm like, we can't take the van puns because it's a bus, unfortunately. I really liked, someone said Wheels of Agony, and I was like, that is amazing. I love that. Wheels of Agony. I actually was joking around with Unleash the Bus today. But there's been a few, so we'll see. I have a feeling it's going to come to us once we're on the road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hope that we're all anxious to see the finished product photos and videos. I'm sure. That they have for us. I mean, you are obviously there's a tour announced already. You guys are going on the road with Nwabum Legends Raven. Those guys are, certified insane. I don't know if you had a chance to meet them yet.
No, but I've heard that they have a lot of energy. That's all I know.
They do. I've had the pleasure of interviewing them a few times. It's always a great fun. But also with them, they're insane, but they do take everything extremely serious. You have to.
Yeah.
I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that only 6 other bands have been around longer than them and still active or something like that in the world.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Because they started late 60s, early 70s, way before their first album came out. So like with a band like that, like when you're going to go on the road with a band that has seen it all, that has done it all, like does that also mean that you guys are taking your notepads with you? And because you're going to learn a lot from a band like this. What's how are you preparing mentally for a tour like that?
I feel like there is no way to prepare. There's honestly, when it comes to tour, like I've only done it a few times now, but every single time I feel like I go in with a certain mentality and I come out with something completely different, because every single day you have no idea what's going on. Everything is always chaotic. Like you kind of get into your own little groove, but number one, you're going to be waking up in a new place every day. 2, your schedule is going to change constantly, so you have no idea when you're going to sleep, eat, go to the bathroom. Like, so it's like the only way you can really prepare yourself is to just like take a deep breath and be like, I'm just going to go with the flow and see what happens.
Having listened to the album, I kind of keep my fingers crossed that Time to Rise either starts or ends the set, because I feel like it's just a really cool, maybe an unexpected anthemic choice, and I think that song's going to do really well. Like putting a bold move like that, where you like an unknown song at the moment, giving it a prominent role? Is that something that you dare do when you have limited time opening for other bands?
We're definitely going to try and squeeze all the singles in if we can. But yeah, we're kind of playing around with everything right now and kind of seeing where everything flows. Because yeah, Time to Rise would be a really cool one to end on, at least even before an encore or something too, would be really cool. So yeah, we have played around with that for a little bit. So yeah, we'll just have to see.
There you go. I don't know if the tour takes you back to Nashville, but last time I spoke, was shortly after you had ravaged through Nashville, and you were collectively hungover still, I think, from that. We've seen you post some creative cocktails recently as well.
Yes.
Every band seems to be, collaborating with breweries and with distilleries. Lutharo beer, cocktails, wines are coming.
We did think about doing a collaboration, like a beer collaboration, and calling it Chasing Euphoria, having like the album artwork on it. But we just need to have the money to do it, really, because we were going to sell it actually at our CD release, which would have been really cool. But we're just so strapped for money right now that we're like, okay, maybe in the future, because we have had a few ideas like that, and even with like hard liquor and stuff too. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, now that you mentioned the beautiful artwork by Niklas Sundin, let's go into that, because we said that the music is layered, the artwork is also a little bit layered. Have you found, or everybody in the band already found all the hidden details in that piece of work? Because it is quite a thing to look at.
That's what I love about it so much. That was the first thing that I noticed, is how many layers. And I noticed I was laughing because how there's like faces, but there's also a hidden one that kind of looks like a mask in the background, which really reminds me of Ruthless Bloodline. So I feel like there's like a piece of every song in that artwork. It's like little Easter eggs.
Yeah. So now all the fans can start to, have their own conspiracies about what every little piece means and so on. That's awesome. There's a cool thing going on in Canada right now, where we've got yourselves, we've got obviously, Unleash the Archers or Bus, whatever you want to call it. We also obviously still have Skullfist, and there's Striker just released a new album as well. There's this whole wave of we call them power metal bands, but they don't really fit into one category, because obviously you guys use so many different influences. You bring the harsh vocals as well. What is it with Canadians these days that everybody says that we're so nice and following the rules, but it seems that the Canadian bands refuse to stick to a stereotype? Where does that mentality come from? Because it's clear that Lutharo always kind of agreed amongst each other that you're not going to be just another power metal band or just another mellow death band. Like, is that genuinely a conversation in the band, or is that just something that comes natural?
I think that's just something that comes naturally. We do like talk about it. It does get brought up only when like somebody's ripping on us for us. It basically, like, people leave in the comments like there's so many different genres. It's like such a mixed bag. This doesn't make any sense. And we're like, that's the point. Like, it does make sense for people who like things that are dynamic in that way. But for people who just want a thrash metal band or just a power metal band, then it's like, they got to look elsewhere for that. But yeah, I think it's just been like an unspoken thing for us for so long, because we have so many different influences and we like so many different genres of music, even outside of metal. It would be hard to not include them. It would just get boring, I feel like.
Yeah. Now, if people had not seen one of the singles and get the album and start playing it, they might think for the first couple of songs like, oh wow, they went all heavy, because the album starts with a punch. Like the first couple of songs, you guys never really used the break. When you were building, a lot of bands say that, building a set list, or not set list, sorry, building a track list is sometimes the hardest part to agree on as a band when you're releasing an album. Was that a kind of a thing, like, we need to, hit people in the face when they listen to the album?
Definitely. I think like you have to go through like, yeah, that wave of a punch. You need to grab people right away or else they're going to be like, nah, people get bored so easily now, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to like go through this flux and flow of different things, like a punch, then maybe slow it down a little bit, and then another punch. And then, you know, we always like to end very epically too. We always like to save like the long, epic song for the last song too.
You know, it seems like the train hasn't slowed down for you guys, and there's been tours and crazy. You guys, all of a sudden, all 5 of you had to play the bass at some point.
Yeah.
But you know, now that you are going through this first cycle with a label like Atomic Fire, which is technically speaking a new label, but you know, it's an established label at the same time. How different has this experience been? Because you said like, well, I still start my days with posting every social media before I get out of bed. So there's still a lot of work to be done. There's no doubt about that. But how different is this cycle for the band compared to the past?
I think it's just trying to take into account that we're not just a single unit anymore. We're part of like another company now, you know what I mean? So we are showing up for ourselves, but also for them. We're a representation of them and ourselves now. It's like, so we have to think about not only us, but something else now. So it's always in the back of our mind every time we post, and we have to make sure we're doing certain things for them as well, right? To make sure everyone stays happy. So yeah, it's we can't just be selfish in that way anymore.
Yeah. For a band that you said earlier, like we kind of just, the one rule is we don't follow rules. Was that a somewhat of an adjustment that you now have to keep in mind that there's a bigger machine to work with?
Not really, because I feel like we kept each other in line really well before, because otherwise the wheels would start to fall off really quickly. So we've always been a really driven band and a really I don't know, we always just like put ourselves out there a lot with social media and everything. There's no other way to do it. So, and we've been really organized and everything. So I feel like it's been an easy transition. We just have to remember that they're expecting certain things or new things that we didn't even know we had to do in the industry all of a sudden. So yeah.
Okay. Well, let's hope that the wheels don't come off. And I mean, quite literally, because you've got a new band that you're refurbishing. So let's hope that these wheels stay on as you're going through the album release and the tour coming up with Raven. It's going to be a real fun ride, I'm sure. Krista, I hope to see you guys more than a few times on a stage in 2024, and I have a feeling that that's gonna work out. So I'm super excited for it. The album is a lot of fun, and can't wait for everybody to discover it. And I wish you guys all the best, and I can't wait to see you guys again at a show soon enough.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.